In today's show, Apple Music Live launches with Harry Styles, the flat Apple Watch rears its beautiful head again, and Apple brings professional certification for Apple devices. So now at least we know why Tim Cook was at Coachella. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell. Apple's background in music is legendary, from the invention of the first iPod, the first digital music player that made you not want to self-harm, to creating iTunes, which basically saved the music industry when torrenting became flavour of the week for getting your fix of sweet, sweet music. At the time, torrenting became huge because you might only be interested in 1 or 2 songs from an album, but you would have to buy the whole physical album. iTunes gave you the option to buy individual songs instead, and in a safe and high quality format. Later came the live iTunes festivals, where many artists would perform live shows for Apple. And of course there was the whole big U2 gate, where Bono invaded everyone's iPhones with his latest album. Of course the iTunes festival reached its end. The iTunes purchases have almost entirely been replaced now by Apple Music, and here's the story I've been rambling up to. Apple Music Live starts this Friday, and that's with Harry Styles live performing his new album. So Tim Cook turning up at Coachella, where Styles was performing recently, makes a lot more sense now. Now, you might not be a huge Harry Styles fan, although he might be the closest we'll ever get to a modern Bowie, but this won't be the end of Apple Music Live, so let me know in the comments who you would like to see perform on Apple Music. And on to the Apple Watch, and Shrimp Apple Pro on Twitter, and no, his name is not a joke, he's actually one of the more respected leakers at the moment, is saying that his sources are seeing flat-sided Apple Watch designs making its debut in 2022, mainly because the flat glass for the front panel is being seen in the supply chain. Last year, everyone was confident that the flat-sided watch was coming, and it seems that the production issues that were reported just weeks before the expected launch were pretty catastrophic, with Apple reverting to another design, which eventually became the Apple Watch Series 7 with its thick display glass and rounded design. A number of YouTubers and news sites have suggested that this weird flat design might be the expected rugged version, but looking back at the Series 7 announcement, it was all around how it's the most durable Apple Watch ever. The mountain bikes, all of the hills, people riding, falling off, crashing into stuff, and Apple themselves said it's the most durable ever. It's got the thicker display glass, and the chip inside, although it was called the S7, it was almost exactly the same as the Series 6. I think that the rugged version was set to be announced with the Series 7, or maybe a spring event the following year, but they had the tooling ready, and the Series 6 S6 processor inside was just renamed as the S7, and the flat design that they had to push back for an extra year, I think that's the one that we would have been seeing last year. Now, John Prosser and Ian Zelbo have released renders of these new devices, which you've been enjoying throughout this segment, I hope. So you should go and give them some love over on Front Page Tech or on Twitter. So do you think we will see it this year? And what finishes would you want to see? What colours, materials? Should they bring back the 10K solid gold versions? Or the ceramics? Or is stainless steel and titanium enough? Titanium seems to be a flavour of the week at Apple right now. Finally, before getting into some of your questions and comments, Apple is launching, or at least reworking, its professional qualifications for Apple IT professionals across device development, technical support and app developer support. With the M1's launch, the MacBook Air and MacBook Pro have become a lot more usable for people that need notebooks who work in the field because of the stupidly long battery life, the lightweight and all of the other good stuff. And the Mac Mini M1 is super easy to roll out into an office. So being able to airdrop files when you're on site, or collaborate on pages, numbers and keynotes files, and also use shared iCloud Drive folders makes all the sense in the world for work, so it becomes a really compelling option. To help support that, Apple's new training allows you to become certified in Apple devices, and from what I can see, it's only the exams that are paid, so you can access all the course materials and learn everything that you want to for free at training.apple.com. Now, I know this sounds like an advert for Apple, but it's not. It's just another really positive step from Apple, as I see it, for Macs to become a lot more mainstream in offices. And also, it kind of lines up with what they're doing with physically repairing it. This is kind of dealing with the technical issues software side. So I think all are positive, if I'm honest. Now into iCave Answers. Randomness R asks, iCave Answers, when do you think we'll see a completely portless iPad? I think it makes a lot more sense than the iPhone, and I think there's definitely something to be said there. The iPad, in terms of charging, does need a little bit more juice than the iPhone, so we might need to see an uprated version of MagSafe if that was the way that they were going to do it. But actually, it makes more sense, I would have thought, to use something like the Smart Connector. So you don't need to have any holes in the device, you don't need to have anything like that, but you would still be able to pop it on a dock, maybe to charge it rather than using a cable, and you have physical connections there rather than inductive charging. Inductive charging is a little bit wasteful in terms of the power itself, although these are about as efficient as you can make them because the magnets are right there in order to align everything properly, which is also how the smart connectors work with the Apple Magic keyboards. All of the magnets that are built in align them properly. So it could well be that that smart connector is going to be the way that power gets into our iPads in the future. The other thing that I think would be difficult, and again this is not completely unfixable, but a lot of iPad users, especially iPad Pro users that use the Thunderbolt port on the bottom, plug in external storage, and that would be the one thing that's difficult. Now yes, there is obviously advances happening all the time in cloud storage and in terms of being able to do more wireless transfers, but think about it, if you've got external hard drives or SSDs that you want to plug in, they don't have a wireless connection. So Apple would potentially need something along the lines of the Magic Trackpad and keyboard that has USB ports on there that perhaps you could plug your devices into there, or maybe Apple could create an enclosure that you can put external SSDs into that then gives you a wireless connection to the iPad, or maybe something using the U1 chips, something along those lines, which can give incredibly fast transfers over short distances. That might be another possible solution. But again, let me know in the comments down there if you would be interested in completely wireless iPads. I think the smart connector will stay, and I think that's probably the way that we will power them in future, if not through a MagSafe connection. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We've got loads more content coming this week, and we're probably going to do a live show on Friday night, so make sure that you set your reminders for that. See you in the next one. And also use shared iCloud. And also use shared iCloud answers